Dear brothers and sisters, 2 weeks from now we're going to realize how much it's been spreading, because all of a sudden this huge tsunami wave is going to hit the healthcare system and it's going to be completely overwhelmed. Completely overwhelmed. And when that happens, we're going to have to be making decisions about who gets a respirator and who gets offered hospitalizations, and it's going to be much worse than what we're seeing happening anywhere else in the world. And the United States is going to have it even worse. Is going to have it even worse. Is going to have it even worse. I urge, I plead, I beg with every one of you who are listening to this message, with all of my heart, that you immediately begin to radically self-isolate. This means that you lock up yourself and your family in your home, and you do not leave for any reason whatsoever. It is everywhere. We may be all shedding it. We may be all carrying it. We may be all exposed to it everywhere we go right now. And unless we all do this immediately for at least 14 days, we'll not have any idea of what is actually really happening out there. That is number one. That is number one. And it must be done across the board. Any non-essential travel outside of your home, it doesn't matter about social distancing. Social distancing. With anybody outside of your immediate home right now should be immediately stopped. If there are people who are over the age of 65 or have significant medical conditions, immune-compromised states, you must be extra vigilant. That means that you don't go out shopping, if somebody drop off food outside of your door. You do not visit with your grandchildren. You do not do anything that makes you susceptible, because it can take up to 14 days for us to become symptomatic. From this disease. I beg of you to do this, because I know that unless we start to enact this across the board, unless we begin to radically separate and self-isolate, I fear that this is going to continue to spread, and we're going to see the repercussions of this, and we're going to be dealing with very difficult decisions, having funerals in the next 2 to 4 weeks because of the decisions we make today. And I beg of you to take every action possible to not make that a reality. The second thing we have to do is we have to come together. We have to realize that we're all in this together. We're all making mistakes, and we're all doing our best. The sooner we realize that our strength comes, number one, in recognizing that we're all sharing the same degree of concern and experiencing the same amount of frustration and the same amount of vulnerability and emotional ability. We are all in this together. Doesn't matter who we are. And we have to start coming together, because together we can beat this virus. But we must come together. And we must start going on the offensive. We must start attacking this virus. We cannot continue to sit back and allow it to attack us. We can't go on the defensive. We have to go on the offensive. And the only way that we currently know to go on the offensive against this virus is to begin taking radical steps that are absolutely necessary immediately. Not tomorrow, today. Everybody, lock up their family in their home, not go out for anything non-essential, and especially anybody who is at increased risk should not go out for any reason whatsoever, unless you need to seek emergency medical attention. And then you call 911. I beg, and I pray for each and every one of us in coming together and finding ways to continue to feel togetherness and community. Physical distancing does not mean social separation, social isolation. We can continue to be a community emotionally connected in strong, very strong ways, for very good reasons, for very meaningful and lofty purposes, at the same time maintain this very essential physical distancing. I wish us all health,